knowledge into wisdom. And the fires of creation is that process of action turning knowledge into wisdom. We all know, but until we do, it's not the experience and the understanding of the experience that it takes to understand it. The experiential situation is really what it is.
It's not about what you do and all of the things you create or don't create. It is truly about lifetime to lifetime endurance and gaining joy and happiness out of them. It's not about success. It is just about joy, happiness, and love.
Have you been finding yourself stuck in a rut, unable to launch your new projects, not getting the experiences you're looking out of your spiritual experiences? You're trying to start a business and running into troubles? I have special coaching sessions for you. Spiritual readings, Akashic records, healings, all those are available to you. I invite you to come and look at the different journeys that I've done in the live shows that I've done. I'm inviting you all to come on the journey, expand your life, expand your willpower, learn more about sovereignty. We also have the Living the Mystical Life monthly membership. It's a new relaunch of the system where you get all of our live webinars and get access to our Discord server for our live shows. Go to the website, andrewbartzis.com, for more information. Come and join our community, inviting you all to come on this journey as we expand to the universe of the Great Awakening. Welcome, everyone, to our Creator Series.
Hello.
We are here to talk about what it takes to do digital production in all sorts of styles. We've been running this class for some time now. We've given you all sorts of information, how to do video production, audio production, creating music videos, all sorts of things. We are here to help you get to the next level of understanding. We're making this a live broadcast so you could have an opportunity to ask us questions. Today, we're going to be talking about live streaming. I am joined by my intrepid producer, Joel Gimbel of Gimbel Vision and Sound.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Creator Series. If you go into the show description, you could find a link to the membership for the Creator Series, and we have a whole year's worth of content from last year, covering everything from live streaming, making videos, designing websites, posting your content, making music. And so it's already a great archive to get you started on creating content online.
With that said, Joe, let's talk about what is live streaming.
So live streaming is when you're going to take your audio video from whatever you've got plugged in your computer. You don't have to use a camera. Video could be some content you created, or share screen like what we'll be doing today to show you how to use mobile streaming apps. And then you're connecting to a platform that will publish your live stream and going live, and everyone can see and hear what you've dialed in. And today we'll be going over the Rumble Studio platform that allows you to stream directly from your mobile device. But we've gone over using OBS before, as well as Restream, and there's a multitude of other ways that you can live stream directly to the internet.
Yeah, YouTube's got its own creator thing too. They're all pretty much the same, and it comes to understanding if you're going to need a stream key or not. Joel, what is a stream key?
Stream key is, so you have your standard HTTP protocol that you connect to a website. So when you go to a website, you'll see that little acronym up in the corner, and that's basically how you're connecting to the website. With live streaming, it's RTMP. And so it's like a web address that you're going to copy and paste into if you're doing manual streaming, which we cover in the membership in the OBS class, getting the address from the website that you're publishing to, whether it's YouTube or Rumble or whatever else, and then connecting it to your software. And it'll have a stream key, which is an encrypted set of characters that will basically be the password to connecting your broadcast that whatever software you're using directly to the platform.
Yeah. So let's quickly go over what's in the Rumble Creators Studio, some of the features that it presents versus people that are having a paid account.
Yeah, so just give me a second here, and I'm going to share the screen from my mobile device. So just bear with me while I get that rolling.
He is doing magic.
Move that over to Rumble Studio. So whatever app you're using, this is going to be essentially a very similar vibe. And it's in portrait form right now because we're using a mobile device, but you can still stream widescreen from a mobile device, and we'll be showing that today. And so right off the bat, you've got right there direct RTMP direct. And so what that means is that you will be getting the code, the URL, the RTMP, and the stream key directly from Rumble, and then putting that into something like OBS so that whatever type of show you've put together, whatever type of stream you've put together inside of OBS, it'll just go direct to the website, and you don't have to use any of their native tools. So what we'll be doing today is we'll be using the native tools, which is Rumble Studio, where we can patch in our camera and our audio. It's already directly connected and be able to live stream without an issue. Premiere, and then you can premiere videos. That allows you to take something you've already edited together, upload it, and then schedule it to show up. Scheduling stream would be the same as this Canvas stream that we're going to do. Mm-hmm. And so, 1 second here. And so I've already set up a test stream right here, and then the information is really simple. Like, you're going to put up a thumbnail. We're just doing a test stream, but going to Rumble, you can connect other platforms. They use locals as well. You could add in a secondary destination. That's where you would grab the RTMP and the stream key from another platform and then connect it to, so when you're streaming from Rumble Studio, it could also show up on YouTube or Instagram or whatever you want it to do. And so we're not going to do anything complicated here because it's going to be going private to my account. It's not actually streaming out to the masses. Connecting to the room. And so if you've seen our videos on using like Restream to do your streams, it's going to seem very familiar. You're basically in a little video chat room that you can add participants, so you send an invite URL to a friend or a guest for your show, and they'll be able to join the room, and then you can move the tiles around in different configurations here that have either side by side, or if you have multiple people, there'll be tiles. We're going to put it on auto because we're just using my phone here, and you'll have your chat room. So when you're live, whatever chats come in, they're available to you right there. And then if you have participants, you'll be able to do different things with the participants from here, including generate an invite link if you need to mute someone, if you need to boot someone, that type of thing. Design stuff. This is where you can add image files, set up in the widescreen stream ratio for what we're doing here. But like if you were using Instagram or TikTok that biases to the portrait ratio, meaning skinnier up and down versus skinnier left and right. That will allow you to put an overlay. So like if I want to put a bunch of logos and a title in the corner, so if you're looking at our stream right now, I have the Galactic Historian logo up in the corner. That's an overlay. That's just a simple overlay, taking an image with a transparent background and then setting the dimensions of the image to match the dimensions of your live stream. So like we'll be 1920 by 1080 for this stream. And then background would be a background image, so you have something in the background. So it's not just kind of like what you're seeing right now with our Zoom share, because Zoom is kind of limited in that respect, where you're seeing the share screen of my phone, but then you got all this blank space off to the side here, and you can't see the cool space background. It's being blocked out by Zoom. This would give you the same thing. Like you could put a background that's moving, or it could be a still image, and it would be going on in the background.
Which gives you a lot more artistic energies that you can put to your stream.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
All right. So beyond that, that's just kind of the nuts and bolts of a simple mobile streaming app. And so go hit there, and there I am. My mouth might not be matched up with the audio because I'm using the microphone from my studio going direct into our stream and not using the audio from the Rumble stream right there. And then from there, you're just hitting start stream, and there's not much else to it. And then once you end stream, there'll be a replayable video on the platform of what you've just streamed.
Which generally takes some time to render before it's fully available.
Yeah, and if it's longer, it's going to take much longer to render. Our recent, I can't remember if it was Thanksgiving or Christmas. I did a 54-hour marathon of Adventures into Reality, and it's stuck on YouTube forever. They can't process it. It's too long.
Too long.
Yeah, if you're going to do marathons, try to keep it under 6 to 12 hours because it may not process.
Yeah. So let's talk about some of the features that are in the chat. Like you see people running polls all the time.
Yeah, and Rumble doesn't have polls. YouTube has polls, and so you'll be able to hit the poll feature in your chat on YouTube and allow you to put together the variables, what options they have in the poll, and then it posts directly in the live chat, and you can track people's answers live. If you're doing something like this where it doesn't have a live stream poll feature part of it, just go to any search engine and search, free poll app. I'm blanking on the one that I use right now because it's usually the first one that pops up when you search it. And you're just going to design a poll, and then you get a link, and then if you open an account with them, you can keep track of those things long term.
Okay.
In Rumble, though, they have Rumble Rants, and so this is where, like in YouTube, it's I forget what they call it, but
Super chat.
Yeah, super chats, and so people can put tips into the live chat and contribute to the show, and give more attention to their messages in the chat so that, the streamer can see it and then answer their questions or read out their comments. And then outside of that, if we had messages in the chat, you would be able to mute certain users who are spamming or block them or report them. When you click on their name, you get a full rundown of options there, because when you go live, it's inevitable. You'll get trolls in the chat, and then you have to be conscious of that while you're running a live stream.
Right.
I recommend that if you're going to do mobile streaming, it doesn't hurt to have another device like a laptop or whatever nearby so that you can get the full desktop features of the platform to deal with those type of things. Because I usually operate with multiple screens, because right now, I'll get a little alert about the live chat, but if I'm live streaming and I'm just talking to you guys, yada, 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 and then all of a sudden I see all the alerts down in the chat and I don't pay attention to it, and you got someone, spewing a bunch of vulgarity into the chat and you can't deal with it. So, if you got a little iPad, laptop, whatever, have the chat running and you can kind of glance over it. But the benefit here of using the mobile is I don't have a selfie stick, but I have it on a stand and I can use it like a selfie stick, and you can kind of move around, and that's a very common form of mobile device streaming. And then I also have it attached to a ring light. And so if my face isn't well lit, and you can see it in the reflections in my glasses,
It looks like you have glasses inside of glasses.
Yeah, here.
All right, so let's talk about, in some of our previous classes, we talked about OBS, how to build something. And just as a quick overview, let's say you wanted to make a little piece, you recorded something, you put an opening clip and a closing clip on it. So OBS would be connected through your streaming app here. And if you wanted to run a video during a live stream, you just run it through OBS.
Yeah, OBS is going to give you all the flexibilities that you need to do any kind of show that might have limitations doing with a mobile device, because you're going to be able to queue up pre-recorded videos. Like, so we have a countdown, we have our ads, we have our intro video, opening videos, and then occasionally we might prepare something, like we did a video for the I'm forgetting on it, but we'll air pre-recorded content here and there, and that's how you do that. In terms of piling up a bunch of images that you're going to share and creating different scenes, we go into a lot of depth about that in the OBS video that we had in the Creator Series.
So when it comes to producing stuff in the background versus just going live and talking,
Right.
now that's setting up a structure, a concept. A lot of times when I do Adventures into Reality, we have our ads that are pre-planned. Our personal ads, what we start the show with, where you have an opening splash, the show comes on, we play our ads, and then I just go live.
Mm-hmm.
And there are other people that, let's say, they're doing a news show and they want to do a screen over where they're reading an article from a news thing and then talking about it. And you're able to do that with OBS or something that allows you to capture the screen.
Right. So you're doing a share screen or you're doing a window capture,
Right.
and then you can crop the window to exactly what's in your browser that you want to share with them. We'll do that sometimes on the Loosh Report, where we pull up articles or videos that are on X or something, and then you can overlay that into your stream.
Yeah. So on our Loosh Report, we use Discord. How is Discord different than Rumble? What is that doing?
So Discord is a server that serves as a little community that start your own little Discord channel, where you have voice room chats, you have boards for people to post things, and it's very seamless way to communicate with people on and off and have it running in the background without the drain on resources and bandwidth that you experience with Zoom. So, Zoom has a lot more meeting controls, whereas Discord is more of, it's a voice chat hangout, and it isn't gumming down whatever you're doing on the side. So if, like, we will live stream whatever game we're playing, uses up a lot of resources. Zoom wouldn't work for that. None with Rumble's a video platform that you can live stream to or upload videos, and they have their own Rumble Studio, very similar to how Restream works, where you can bring other people in to talk in there, but it's structured to output something to a live streaming platform. So you have that option to add your intro videos, to add your ads and whatever content that you're going to go back and forth between, because you're going to create different scenes. And so one scene is intro videos or hold screen with background music, and then another scene is we're live and here's who's in the Zoom room or who's in the Rumble studio or Restream studio, and you're bouncing back and forth between those. The way we do it with Discord is we're just capturing the audio direct from Discord, and then our video is typically something that we're sharing as a news article or videos, or we're doing the live streaming of a game, and then the Discord's handling the voice chat in the background. Whereas trying to do something like Restream Studio or Rumble Studio or even Zoom alongside something else that's more video intensive, you do get lower quality, more skips and blips and things like that, depending how many different pieces of software you're running at a time.
That leaves it open. Let's talk about resources, software, what's going on with RAM, etc., your internet speeds, etc.
Right. So for the mobile stuff, nowadays, most of your smartphones, they have a decent camera. As long as you're connected to Wi-Fi or you've got a really good cell signal, direct live streaming is no problem. What you're going to run into if you're like let's say out in the hills, walking in a forest, all that, and you don't have great cell signal, there's no Wi-Fi anywhere, that's where you're going to want to just direct record to the mobile device, send the file over somewhere to either edit or upload it to the platform, because if you don't have a good internet connection, live streaming can be really, really, really poor. And that's one of the critical things that you got to think about in terms of how you're publishing your content. Like I've got high speed fiber here, so doing shows, no problem. But if I'm out in one of the local parks, the state parks or something like that, and then I'm going to go live, like might not even connect, might not hold. Like you got to know what your bandwidth and your connection's looking like. And, Wi-Fi is good enough. Public Wi-Fi might be challenging. Like you would go direct live streaming in the middle of a coffee shop and you do a video. It's like, man, this barista was awful. Da, 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 da. I'm never going back to this place. Like that's a common one. You got to do test streams. So like what we just did was open up our platform and we set it for private. So you can private live stream to your own channel where no one else is going to see it and do those test streams. So I always recommend doing that before you ever use a setting outside of what you know is your comfortable, strong internet connection at home or whatever. In terms of memory, so now if you
let's use the example when we're doing our Friday night Loose Report, we switch to gaming, and the screen is showing you as they were playing World of Warcraft.
Mm-hmm.
The screen is capturing you, but our audio is filtered through Discord, so everyone that's playing is a part of the group conversation.
As well as running the live chats in the background from the different platforms and, trying to keep up with the audience throughout the stream. If you don't have good RAM, meaning the memory modules inside your computer that hold all the things that you're opening at any given point, and if your processing power, whether it's graphics processing power to put the image on the screen or the CPU to run the softwares that you're using during your broadcasts, like you need to go to anything that you're using, whether it's the game itself, OBS, Rumble Studio, even your browser, the difference between using Chrome or Brave or whatever, they're all going to have your minimum system requirements listed somewhere. So you go to your search engine and you type World of Warcraft minimum system requirements. And then it'll tell you need this much gigabytes of RAM, you need to have at least this generation of processor for your CPU and your GPU, and know that everything is within tolerance, not right on the line. Because if you're going to run a video game and OBS to broadcast it, plus Discord to have a live voice chat, and have your browser open with all the live chats, so on and so forth, you're going to chew up a lot of RAM very quickly. And what I'm finding is for something like that, we're getting outside the realm of 16 gigabytes being enough for RAM anymore. A year ago, sure, but these platforms have changed a lot in terms of how things are being processed and how the companies are figuring out how to divvy up everything that needs to happen on the background. So that's something to keep in mind. Like if you're just connecting to a browser like Restream or YouTube Studio or whatever, in live streaming from your laptop, you don't need to worry about the RAM as much. When you're doing something like we do with the Loose Report, where we have a lot of different things running at the same time, RAM becomes an issue. And usually if you're doing any kind of game live streaming, whatever you've spec'd out for your GPU and your CPU should be fine to handle everything. What we're running into nowadays is the RAM, and now, oh God, like I was looking at RAM a few weeks ago, and for something that I wanted to get in terms of, going up to like 32 gigabytes, 64 gigabytes. You're talking well into the thousands of dollars now. Like for really good stuff. And then even just the basic RAM, you're $500-$600 to upgrade whatever you're using, because the data centers and the new AI platforms are gobbling them up like crazy.
Whereas a year ago, those prices would have been much, much, much lower.
It used to be I could fully upgrade the RAM in any computer for under $100.
Joe, is it because of the AI? Has AI contributed to this explosion in having to have increased data in RAM?
Yeah, and what I'm reading is that we've already seen it affect graphic processors, because those are the ones that a lot of gamers use to be able to have very high-end graphics in their video games. Those got gobbled up. The prices went through the roof because that turned out to be one of the more useful chips in designing artificial intelligence. And then RAM, that's, and again, I'm not an AI expert, but the way I understand it, the RAM is how they're opening up the context window, how much each prompt can process more information in one swoop without as much lag time, because you're dumping a lot of different things from a lot of different hard drives into RAM to make it in line with the buses to be processed by whatever processors they're using. Then you're looking at the solid state drives going up like crazy too.
There's a RAM to CPU coefficient that artificial intelligence need as instantaneous process and memory action that doesn't go to a hard drive.
Mm-hmm.
Computational in the large language models. And as they begin to advance, RAM and GPU, you got to realize there's a different thing. RAM is what would be on your circuit board, which is your raw memory power, direct access to the CPU.
Mm-hmm.
Your GPU is a graphics processing unit that generally attaches to the motherboard, either PCI Express or it's hardwired into the motherboard. Your GPU has RAM in it too, which is generally fast processing RAM, what allows you to render your video game very fast at higher frames per second.
Mm-hmm.
When you convert this over to an AI, it's not using it to process rendering a video. It's using the high wisdom intelligence of the large language model to go through trillions of selections to give you that final answer in 6 seconds. Thus, the entire AI industry is going to pretty much overprice everything in the gaming industry, though Asus recently came out and said they're going to be making RAM direct for gamers because all the other guys sold out to the AI people. NVIDIA, who cut their teeth on making graphics processing units and RAMs for the gamers, that's what kept that company alive. They basically sold out to all the AI companies, as did Intel, all the other ones.
Have you noticed, is it mostly just affecting the prices of the modular stuff that you put into motherboards, or like cell phones, laptops?
Everything.
Yeah.
Everything. Yes.
And so that's where, like I said, if you're mobile live streaming or you're doing a simple live stream from a laptop or a desktop, you're good. When you get into this stuff where, let's say you want to queue up a ton of different videos and play them back, share screen from a bunch of different websites, you have dozens of different overlays and images, and you're going to live stream a video game, like, it's expensive right now to get into those systems. And it's going to be very interesting to see how it all shakes out, because like right now, the system that I have right now, it's working good, but you got to have everything within tolerances. No junk hardware or software on your hard drive. Get it all uninstalled. Don't use your main hard drive to store all your files. Get a external hard drive to store all your files. You can even have a USB 3.0 hard drive connected to your laptop or whatever computer, and store all the videos that you want to play back on the stream on there. And USB 3.0 is plenty of enough of a bus to pass that information. It didn't used to be. You couldn't do that before. And we've talked about that in one of the first creator series, how you can take something simple like a Google Chromebook, get your USB docking bay, and then connect all these other devices to them and still keep things within price tolerance. I haven't done as much shopping. I glanced at RAM recently, but yeah, I'm kind of I'm leery to look right now.
It's in the thousands.
Yeah.
Thousands. If you want to go to 32 gigs. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So your chances of finding a 16 gig chip for under $500 are very rare.
Mm-hmm.
They're very. So what you're going to be seeing is lots of motherboards with the RAM soldered, hardened onto it. You can't pull it off.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you're going to see a decline of quality in all computers over the next few years, while AI sucks up all the freebound chips and CPUs and GPUs.
Wow.
So in the past, we used to use two computers. Let's talk about that. So if the people want to Sanford and Son their way to doing a live stream with older technology.
Yes, how to jury rig a live stream. So you can be in a situation where you're like, oh, my computer's fine. And then you realize, what the hell? I've only had this thing a few years and now it's outdated for all these things. You can connect multiple computers together to do things. Like, so I've done one computer running live chat or one computer running Zoom, and then taking the HDMI out or connecting a USB 3 image capture device to whatever computer to allow that image to pass to another computer to handle OBS or whatever streaming software I'm using. And so instead of trying to cram all your software into one system, if you have multiple computers, figuring out which each one is best optimized for. So like if we use the loose report as an example, if there's one computer that's really strong graphics, there's your gaming computer. If you have one computer that is hardlined into your internet and has, Ethernet out and can handle OBS, well, there's your streaming computer. And let's say you have a laptop or tablet to run your chat, and then you use, you could look them up on Amazon. It's just called a HDMI to USB converter, or image capture device, video capture device. Any of those combinations of words will pull something up that should be under $50 still, to take the HDMI out of any computer that you would connect to a monitor, and then connect that to the USB of the streaming computer, go into OBS, add a source, choose video capture device, and it'll show up as a USB device that you can then take the image from another computer and fold it into OBS. And you depending on how many USB ports you have, you could connect as many computers as you wanted doing that, so that if you had, let's say, another computer, like I said, running Zoom or Discord as your voice chat computer, and that's all it can handle, take the audio out of that, and you could do the same thing. You can just do the HDMI to the USB, but only fold in the audio from the HDMI, not the video. And that's something we can do a little more detailed instructional video later on this year in the creator series, because then I can, have that all patched together and show people how to jury rig a stream system with older computers.
So you have some old ThinkPads, some old laptops, like 3 years old, even 4 years old, you can still do top-notch production.
Yeah. Yeah. And then it's like, well, if the best camera you have is on your phone, then you can integrate the phone's camera into that whole system. It's just requires having the right adapters, converters, different cables and things like that. And so there's really your big, the biggest expense you're looking at is maybe to do something with the existing computers you have. You might have to spend a little under $100 to get a bunch of different cables.
That's if you're having like 4 computers.
Yeah.
Most of them you're not going to need 4. You can get away with a Chromebook and a decent laptop that can run the game, and because everything's through a browser. Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay, so as long as you have browser access, you can do the live streaming through a Chromebook. We've talked about that in one of our first creator series.
Yeah, that's one of the first ones.
And a Chromebook, they're anywhere between $100 and $300. Generally, a decent one is $140, $170, and all it does is just run Google Chrome. But it is a media device. You can watch your movies, you can stream on it, you can go to all your different, your different websites and still watch videos and still enjoy entertainment, but not have to use the full resources of a laptop.
Mm-hmm.
So with a basic cell phone and a Chromebook, you can set up multiple two multi-device and still be able to stream whatever it is that you need to stream. Chromebooks do have hard drives, so you can store a media file on your Chromebook. You're not going to run OBS on a Chromebook because OBS requires an actual operating system, but you can still upload the different things that you need to do to the streaming software, whatever it is that you're using.
Right. And then if for whatever reason your threshold of doing live streaming, you're running into a bandwidth problem with internet, maybe your area doesn't have high speed, or whatever the reason being, this is where you could take all the same tools, record them as files. We just, I think a couple months ago, did a basic course on how to edit videos, and just edit together and upload these things until you could figure out your internet situation. Because it's, otherwise you don't want to be live streaming choppy videos, glitchy videos, videos where your audio isn't great. You need to master that with the mobile device as well. So if you're doing a mobile device streaming, angling your camera just right, not just to keep you in frame, but that your audio actually sounds good. I am notorious for having phone cases that make me inaudible. So you got to test that part of it. Do you need your phone case off or on to make it a good audio? And then there are other attachments for most phones that you can get a little lapel mic, even with a lapel mic with, I call it a dead cat. It's a really fuzzy windscreen that you slip over the microphone. So if you're outside and it's windy, it'll absorb a lot of the wind shear and make your voice a little bit cleaner. Because I that drives me crazy. A person sets up their phone on their coffee table, and then they sit 10 feet back to get the whole self in frame, and all I can hear is their echoey room. Like, mics are cheap nowadays, super dirt cheap. And, everything's interfaceable. Most of the phones are USB-C. There's a lot of stuff out there.
All right, so the next thing I want to touch on is a big thing going on now is people going to live events, or they're becoming a Kick streamer or a Twitch streamer, and they're just walking around the city interviewing people. They're going to, whatever it is that they're doing. And the general setup is they have a cell phone on what's called a gimbal. Mm-hmm. And it auto stabilizes your phone. You want to talk about that stuff?
Yeah, so Gimbel it's a stabilization device, or it's an attachment that allows you to swivel the device in different angles. And that there's actually phone cases for them. And so it'd be like a phone case with a recessed sphere in the back of it, and then you pop the little ball head into it, and that allows you to angle the phone in different ways. And a lot of the selfie sticks have them built into them too.
Right. And then it's got a stick on it, so it allows you to raise it up, move it around, make it steady. So it's like a tripod all at once. If you've ever hooked up a camera to a tripod, that's how simple it is. It's the same technology. But the auto stabilizer, so let's say you're seeing, let's say the Minneapolis things where they're out there filming, etc. If you look at in the background, everyone's got a little bit of a different setup, but they're generally, have an extra battery and a light in front of them. Mm-hmm. And those are attachments you just buy. And the gimbal, I've seen them from $35 to $150. It all depends on the type of stabilization you're using. About 10 years ago, when iPhones really came out, you were able to do movie studio quality with $100 gimbal and make it look like you're moving through scenes. You can do all that today. Let's say you wanted to film an action scene and you've got your guys, whatever your action scene is, people walking down a street. Okay. All you have to do is understand the capturing of the frame. Like, what am I capturing? Am I stable? And you can walk, and the gimbal will keep everything stable enough so it looks like a movie quality scene. There you go. You got the gimbal.
Yeah, it's not sharing
Andrew,
it.
is that like a GoPro, or am I getting
A GoPro is a camera that easily mounts to a variety of things, so it's not your actual cell phone.
Okay.
So here, I've brought this one up on screen. This has all the little things. So here's a little kickstand if you want to put the mobile device on a table. Here's the stand with the lights in the background. Then you've got your selfie stick with, and the other cool thing is they have Bluetooth controls in them. And it looks like this one I even have another camera mounted into the selfie stick. That's interesting.
Oh, like the second screen, so you can see what you're looking at and see your live streaming. And then an extra battery.
So, I mean, this is all a lot of the same gear. At least I was used to growing up with all the camcorders and stuff.
Yeah. It's just been adjusted to cell phones.
Yeah.
So if you wanted to become a movie guy and you wanted to start filming movies, everything we just described, you just live stream your filming and you go back and edit it later.
Yep.
Okay. Now, let's talk about, actually in our other creator series, we talked about lighting and sound. We can refer you to go back to listen to those. Decent mic, good color lighting. And then if you want to use like green screens, we've talked about that before. This is just for general live streaming. For $100 plus your phone, you could literally do movie quality filming. Okay. Now, if you wanted multi-cameras, you just need another cell phone and another gimbal and another person holding it. So you could literally make it look like if you're going back and forth. Let's say you have two people talking in a movie scene. You're focused on one person and then it switches to the other person. You can do right there where you could have both cameras connected to your video source, which would be OBS. So let's say you had a decent iPad, you could have the OBS capturing two separate phones. Okay, it can be that maybe seem complicated, but it's done all the time. Okay, mobile broadcasting, mobile switching, the whole streaming scenario is set up to do that stuff.
Yeah, and here I'm going to see if I can find a good one here. Actually, the one we were just showing, it does the switching as well. So it's all, you can have it all connected via Bluetooth.
So if let's say you're interviewing someone, you're in your camera facing forward, and then you want to switch it back to you're right there. So you're back and forth between the two. That's a two camera setup.
Trying to see how many phones this one does. Yeah, if you go and watch one of the first creator series we did, we went through a bunch of different devices and peripherals to use for different setups. But the battery thing, yeah, that one's important. Getting those USB battery chargers handy if you're going to be out in the field doing a lot of recording. And in preparing for the environment too,
Right. Most cell phones do terrible in cold weather. So what you saw in the recent Minneapolis things, is lots of scenarios where the cell phone lost quality, lost image, because once it gets cold, it has lots of issues. So what they end up doing is wrapping them in plastic bags and putting a little hand warmer in them.
Oh, nice. Yeah, and the mic thing, getting the mic attachments, if you're not just going to have the phone a couple feet from your face to frame up your head, you need to get a separate mic, lapel mic with a windscreen or handheld mic. They have the Bluetooth clip-on ones as well that'll connect to your phone. And so if you're doing man on the street type interviews, you're just clipping the wireless lapel mic to them, and then it's all feeding into your record or your stream.
Right.
Handheld ones as well. Those are available.
All right, so we talked about live streaming, interviewing, and then post production. Let's say you're just going to record, but you're not live streaming, and then you want to live stream it later. You can still do that all from your phone and your Chromebook, because you're basically keeping it as a private video, and then you can go back and use the editing tools or re-upload it later.
Right. And since we're talking about mobile streaming, being conscious all the way through whatever live stream or record or project you're doing of what dimensions you want your final product. And so most video platforms are widescreen. It's 1920 by 1080, and then there's higher resolution ones you can do out there. That's what you see on YouTube. That's what you see on Rumble. But when you're on the mobile recording, some of them only do portrait, meaning that it's 1080 by 1920. And so it's that skinny up and down version dimensions that you see on TikTok, Instagram, Reels on Facebook. And so if you're going to do a record and then go edit it later, when you're loading them in, you need to make sure your video editor is set up for portrait instead of landscape, and that all the video content you're using is recorded in portrait. And if it isn't, how do you make widescreen look good in portrait, and vice versa? How do you make a portrait video look good in a widescreen? Because you go back to the beginning of our video when we did Instructable with Rumble Studio, it's kind of annoying. Like if you've got a small screen, you're not going to be able to see that very well. Having a portrait laid into a wide screen. And so that's when you're going to go into your editor, or if you're live streaming on OBS, and zoom in on the image and frame it up with the rest of your stream. So that's either zooming in on the portrait so it fills up the widescreen, or taking widescreen and trying to orientate it inside of a portrait stream or video where it looks good and you're not cutting out certain parts of the image. So that can be a bit of a fussy thing. You know, you see a lot of clips going up on social media where, you know, you have all this dead space up at the top and the bottom or the sides because they're trying to shove a different dimension into the opposite orientation.
Yeah. What I like to do is make a checklist. Am I interviewing? Am I just catching wide shot scenes? Am I being able to match it so I get the best use out of my screen distance versus having all that dead space?
Yeah.
Okay. And a checklist is a way to just not making mistakes.
And that was another video we did, getting set up before your live stream, framing yourself up on camera, making sure your lighting is good, understanding what's in the background of your image, and are you going to do a green screen or a virtual background, knowing that your angle on your camera is just right so they're not looking up your nose or, getting just the top of your head or something like that. All the artistry part of it is there. And I'm trying to remember which one it was, but we did a whole thing on microphone technique and camera and lights.
So let's say somebody wants to record them doing a yoga set. So a lot of things, they use what's called face tracking software, where the stream is set up where the camera's always gonna be centered on your face or the different parts of your body that you tell the computer. You just point down the screen and the camera stays focused in that space. That's an app software built inside. So if it doesn't matter if you're doing yoga, martial arts, guitaring, it's all the exact same stuff. Okay. The key is lighting and audio, which we've talked about in previous creator series. Those are what make quality videos. Okay. And then how you come off in the content.
Yeah, don't get trapped in the myth of fix it in post. You could do a lot of things in post nowadays. I mean, they've got AI for plugins for every task available in audio video production. But nothing suffices better than getting the right audio quality, making sure that, do you need a pop screen? Does the way you dictate words have a lot of P's and S's and things that sound distorted? Or did you get one type of lighting? And like, one thing I noticed right away was, wow, I can see the ring light in my glasses, but if I take off my glasses, I can't see as well to operate the different computers. And so now you got to figure out some other type of ambient lighting that doesn't cast weird shadows on your face or different things like that.
So all that problem solving ahead of time means you don't have to give yourself a mountain of work in post.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like Andrew says about recording your revocations. Record them many, many, many times. Like, you test out what it's like to record or stream to directly to your account, private, not public, and see what the live streams look like and sound like, and then start to try and figure out, okay, do I need a mic? Do I need this type of light? Do I need a ring light? Does the brighter white LED look better than the yellow LEDs? Because you have different shades of lights and different hues that will react differently to your face. And whether or not you've hit an impasse on trying to put together all these things for your content, which, you can go to gimbelsound.com and contact myself or my wife, and we give consults all the time to people with technology and production and marketing online and all that good stuff. So there's always a workaround. It's just about, did I grok it, or did I seek the extra help from a professional?
All right, so the last thing I want to say is, when you do a live stream, you want to connect it to your various social medias. And that's all built in everything. Example, if you're on YouTube or Rumble, it has a little thing there where it takes you direct to your Twitter page or whatever it is you're going to do. They have made it very easy to be social media interactive. Mm-hmm. Okay. And now X is very easy to go live broadcast to. All of that stuff is there. They're all relatively the same thing. So Restream allows you to coalesce multiple chat rooms from Facebook to YouTube to etc. So you could have many chat rooms in one area for you to read as you're moving by, if you're engaging with the audience and you're trying to really push audience engagement because they're on the live stream.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Restream, like YouTube and a lot of the different channels, they'll let you connect to, a couple other destinations. But like, let's say you've got 9 different social channels, or you're co-hosting with someone else who has a bunch of social channels. Getting a paid Restream account will let you connect to, I forget how it works, but it's like, I think the first stage you can connect to 5 channels, and then you can get up to like 15 or more. And that way you don't have to go and post your video on every single channel manually. It just dumps there automatically through Restream.
And StreamYard is the same thing as Restream. It's just got a few different features. It's got a call-in number. StreamYard has its own issues, as does Restream, but generally they're the same thing. Okay, a lot of podcasters use StreamYard because they're sheeple. They follow what everyone else is doing, or they're not computer savvy. And Restream and StreamYards are really made for people who are not computer savvy.
Right, because you just go to their website through the browser. You don't have to download software. You can install their app on your phone. You can use it anywhere.
Right. And then the other things like Riverside FM is another streaming thing that's got its own little studio in the background, but you can do everything from a Chromebook, a cell phone, etc.
And then another cool feature they added last year for Restream, if you're live streaming your videos through Restream or uploading videos to Restream, they have an AI that can automatically cut them up into clips with captions and whatnot.
Yeah, that really helps.
Yeah, and so you don't even have, it's all automated. You finish your live stream and then you check back later and you've got a whole list of options of clips to pick through to post to your social medias for short form.
Yep. Well, Joe, I think we pretty much covered everything. We want anybody that is listening that you can go to the comment section and write in your comments. The description inside the show description is the link to the shop where you can come and join us for the next Creator Series, which we do one every month, and we go over a variety of topics. We have an entire year's worth of recordings for you to go through, from everything of learning how to record your own song to creating a video, picture editing. We have everything there. A big library of stuff for you to learn from. Come and join us and master your Creator Series.
All right. It was a lot of fun sharing all this information with you guys. And like Andrew said, you can drop us a comment if you have anything to say or questions. And if you need any direct consult with audio, video, websites, or any kind of digital marketing or content services, you can reach me and my wife at gimbelsound.com. And we offer consultations for people who are interested in taking their business or creative journey to the next level.
All right, guys, I look forward to seeing you at the next Creator Series.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Andrew. I really enjoyed listening to that.
No
Thank
problem.
you.
Yeah, that was brilliant. Thank you.
All right. Bye, everyone.